live ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold?
Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Watch the show live on Facebook
and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in. It's a Wednesday edition of Hoist the Colors Radio. ECU falls to NC State 10-3 in pretty embarrassing fashion in front of a sold-out crowd. Just were never in the game from the second inning on. A lot to react to, the performance and just some of the big picture items here on this Wednesday. We'll look ahead maybe to the weekend a little bit, but we'll also talk about the game. Crazy night in Charlotte. Buzz City was buzzing. Hornets win their play-in game and get to move into the next play-in game. We'll discuss that and a whole lot more. And we're also going to rank the NBA first-round series, and this was a lot more difficult than I initially imagined it would be, but we're going to try to do that. But we'll lead with ECU baseball. I was there as a fan last night with some of my buddies. I'll get into that side of things. James Giglio, who was in studio, he was covering the game for Hoist the Colors. And how was your experience?
I'm just getting irritated thinking about it, so let's move quickly.
Between the Yankees and the Pirates, it's been a tough little run for your baseball team.
Yeah, it's nothing to look for. I'm like keeping track of the Yankees on my score as we're getting, destroyed by NC State, and it's Angels home run. Angels. I was like, okay, let's just
Mike Trout
restart tomorrow. Best player ever, I guess.
Yeah, when he plays the Yankees. Philip Hilkinen, he's back behind the glass. He did PA for softball last night. It wasn't a much better result for softball. They lost to North Carolina at home. Unfortunately, former Pirate pitcher Kendall Frost closed out the game for the Tar Heels. So that was kind of a double whammy, Philip. So it just was not a great night for baseball or softball against in-state rivals.
No, it was not. It was a frustrating night. And I think, you could honestly say similar things on both sides of the diamond, right? Like it was neither team hit the ball when they needed to hit the ball. Obviously, there was some bad news Bears defense going on a little bit on the baseball side of things, but thought with softball it was just like one out, bases loaded, and you didn't score anybody despite having a fast runner on third base. And baseball just, hey man, at least Blade Carver hit a couple balls hard, hit the double, had the warning track fly out. It was a good confidence builder for him.
Yeah, it's bad when the highlight of the night was Blade Carver doubling and then hitting a ball to the warning track. I also thought Braden Bachman hit a couple balls hard, but outside of that, man, and obviously Davin Whitaker hit the late home run, but just a kind of a debacle of a game. This is now twice that ECU guys has had a sold-out crowd, in-state rival in town. North Carolina, you go back to the Friday night game, they get run-ruled, lose 10-0 in front of 5,700. Last night, 55-84 is the announced attendance. Got to say, as somebody who sat in the stands, very disappointed by the actual stands crowd. The jungle was awesome, but, the stands may have been two-thirds full. It may be even less than that. It was honestly a pathetic showing for the season ticket holders. I'm just going to call it what it is. I know it's a midweek game, but we'll get into that here in a minute, and I'll give some of my thoughts from a fan perspective. But the team just – and I know, look, it's hard to play when you give up early runs to play with energy and fight, but I just thought, man, this was very similar to that North Carolina game, James. They just looked overmatched and almost intimidated against – and this was NC State's midweek pitching. I know, their starter's pretty good, but they were throwing a bunch of freshmen, and ECU just looked like they were overmatched for maybe the first time since that North Carolina.
Yeah. You mentioned this is the second time against an in-state opponent, and I'm not going to try and rant because this could go for – I'm not going to try and go on for a while.
What you got to do?
Because I've been thinking about it, and I know this is the midweek, whatever, but you mentioned it, NC State, UNC. If you ask any ECU fan, myself, you, Philip, and if you have any familiarity with ECU, 9 out of 10 people on campus around the community will tell you this. The two schools they care about beating the most, North Carolina State. And what happened this year is North Carolina and NC State happened last year too. Those two schools have come into Greenville, come into Clark LeClaire, and have just taken a steaming dump on our baseball team at home, and it's inexcusable and it's pathetic, top to bottom. I don't understand it. I cannot fathom how how you're not ready to play against NC State and UNC. I don't understand how you're not ready to play against those schools. If you're ECU and you want to move up in the world, those are the two schools you got to start caring about. In the last 2 years, they have not given a single bleep about those two schools, and I'm tired of it.
Especially, at home.
At home,
and that's the thing. Like this, you're supposed to be intimidating for them to come into your house.
Yes, you don't. It's supposed to be. They're scared to come here, but when they come here and take your lunch money and leave, and I get they beat UNC, in Durham and split or tied in Chapel Hill, whatever. And UNC turned out to be pretty dang good. They're number 3 in the country. But when it happened, NC State is not 7 runs better than us at Clark. They're not. And it shows me that just showed me that they were not ready to play. They just didn't show up to the game. They had no idea we had a game yesterday. And it's inexcusable top to bottom.
And why is this? Is the team, do they put too much pressure on themselves at home? I don't understand, because to me, the body language wasn't even pregame yesterday.
Exactly. There's no reason, absolutely no reason. I'll say it again, for there to be no juice in the dugout, the players, the coaches against NC State. We're talking about NC State, a team that majority of our students and fans and people around Greenville care about the second most, beating them. That school, North Carolina, beating that school. And when you don't care about beating those schools, why should the fans continue to care about the season? Because I'll tell you what, bigger picture, we got Wichita State this weekend, conference implications, whether you want to make tournament, whatever. But man, games like last night are how you quickly get the average student, the average fan to quickly check out on a season. And it's not going to be me, but I'm telling you, I'm frustrated.
The only thing is John Moody says I'm ready to take communion because James is preaching truth. So good comment there.
Very upset.
Good rant. The only thing that shows me that at least Cliff Godwin took this game more seriously than the players' performances, he put Sean Jenkins in.
Yes.
He tried to clearly spark something.
Yes,
it was
clearly.
all right, State's.
This is more towards the player. And I mean, the coaches.
And obviously the coaches got to have the players ready.
That's another thing. They have to have the players ready. But if you're Jack Herring in right field and NC State hits a double in the first inning, why are you jogging and get the ball off the wall in the first inning? It's 0-0. Why?
Maybe he's still nursing an injury. I don't know.
What are we doing? It's the first inning.
It's tough to figure out, man. And I don't know. And then you had the freak error with Lashley at shortstop, which
Good God,
a bit of a freak play. Obviously, you got to be a little more aware there. But either way, of course, classic baseball, dude. Next pitch, ropes one in the center.
It gives up two runs. At least 2 runs.
And that almost felt like being in the building. It took the air out of the stadium. What air there was. But it's if you're a tough-minded team, you just shake it off and you say, all right, we gave up 2 runs. Let's come back and let's produce this next inning.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, Blade Carver, he had that double with 2 outs, but you came back that inning, struck out, foul out, and then a strikeout.
There's just no way I can spin the game in any positive fashion. I mean, it's just
ECU against UNC and NC State at home this year outscored a combined 20-3 in those 2 games.
You can look back last year.
Yeah.
And NC State beat us here, and UNC beat us here.
It was not really a game, either time. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure, look, as frustrated as we are, I'm sure the coaches are trying to search for injuries because, it wouldn't shock me at all if everybody's down the team, they come back this weekend and play well, but it's
But that's what I thought was going to happen after Tulane.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. We're talking about NC State in the midweek.
I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words with this
I
team.
don't know.
I'm glad that you're rant ready.
I wasn't trying to get worked up, but man, the more I think about it, because it's and then you're like, okay, why do we care if the fans check out? Philip has mentioned it 100 times. Fans, consumers, they drive the sport. And if you're not going to beat the teams that we want you to beat, why should we care and why should we continue to support your program down the line?
And I mean, at least, as somebody went to the game as a fan with some of my neighbors, which one of them was an NC State fan, so one person left happy. I think, and granted, part of my fandom has been zapped out due to this job because you try to become neutral and all that. But, I think I clapped one time the entire game. There was nothing to,
There's nothing to clap about. What could you possibly have clapped about?
So, I mean, to me, you can't blame the crowd at all, outside of the people who didn't show up, which is a whole other story.
But the jungle was packed.
The jungle was packed. They went crazy over a Braden Burst dive and play when it was 5-0 in the 5th or something. I'm like, all right, there's some juice. And then offense came back and did nothing. So
I don't know what you have to do to get the dugout. It's that's my main point is the dugout, the player. It seemed like they had no interest in playing at a baseball game yesterday. 0.
Philip, what say you? Any follow-ups to James's rant?
No, hey, look, Isaiah's in here clapping. Scooter's texting blank. Yeah, James can't repeat what the blank is, but you can use context clues. I mean, no, I got there late, so the energy had already kind of been sucked out. But when you hear once again, the seats are half empty, and either sell your tickets. I get that half our fan base lives in Raleigh or Charlotte or Greensboro, but sell your tickets or get a damn buyback program like the Canes do so that we can have same-day walk-up tickets available for people to sit in the stands. That's also how you keep more of the casual fans that James was talking about that you lost last night in, because casual fans don't want to sit in the jungle. The jungle is great, but the jungle is a niche group. If you're not a diehard ECU fan, you don't want to sit out there, so let's get some casuals in the stands, and maybe they'll be more juiced, but heck, if the team doesn't care, who cares? It's not going to matter. And if you guys say they were lackluster, I believe you. By the time I got there, it was 8-1.
And again, it's hard to have energy when you're getting your tails kicked, but I just saw no fight. After they got down 2-0, 5-0, it was the opposite of the Charlotte game where they were battling back. You could sense it last night. It was they were just overmatched. They struck out just for the second time this year, double-digit times. A lot of swings on pitches up in the zone that they were beat on. A lot of fastballs they were beat on. So I don't know. It was kind of just perplexing to watch. It's just been a perplexing year, and obviously the injuries have a role in the team's up and down nature, but also
there's still no way Grady Linehan or Walker Barron's making up for 7 runs, really 9 runs besides Davin Whitaker's garbage time 2-run home run. There's no way those 2 players are making up for that. So you can't blame it on injuries.
And the other guys got to, they're asking for opportunity. You got to step up when you get your chance.
There's your big opportunity. It's NC State in town.
Yep. So
the same thing happened versus North Carolina.
This is the game where you can make yourself kind of a legend, so to speak. And instead, Pirates fall flat. And short post game.
No, it was a minute 04. There's nothing you can say. Really I'm not even that mad at Cliff. You have to have your guys ready to play. That's the main thing. But the players also have to want to be. There's only so much. The players have to want to be there. They have to want to beat NC State, and clearly they had no interest in beating NC State. They had no interest in being at Clark LeClaire last night.
So I do have a question, James, because you went to the post-game press conference with you and Dom did and a couple others. The Cliff just looked – he didn't look ticked off. He just looked hurt and just disappointed and just kind of –
deflated.
Deflated. How did the players look? Did they just look like they didn't – I know you guys didn't interview the players, but we all kind of, glance at their body language. Did they look as equally deflated as Cliff, or were they just kind of whatever?
I wasn't really – I wasn't really observing, but, like I said, there's only so much you can say and do. I just don't understand how you don't care about – and it's one thing if this is a one-time thing, but this is 2 years now where UNC and NC State has just come in and kicked our tails at home. I guess the big thing. They should be scared to come here. And the big narrative is that these schools are scared to play us in football, baseball, whatever. And if you get those opportunities at home and you do what you've done this year.
To me, you got to get back to, and this is more of a big picture discussion, but the guys who are on this coaching staff who used to play here, like a Bryant Packard, like a Jake Agnos, Thomas Francisco. Yeah, they may have lost NC State, but it probably would not have looked like that. Or if it did look like that, it would have been addressed. The players, you got to get some dogs, and maybe there's players on the team who can get into some of their teammates. But this cannot be acceptable for ECU baseball to get it handed to them like this at home by NC State, North Carolina. The players got to step up and be all right. The coaches, I'm sure, Cliff Godwin, he can have some fiery pregame speeches, get the guys going, but some of the team leaders, to me, have to step up or something like this.
I agree, and that's kind of been the consensus all years. Who's the guy who can kind of be a jerk and light a fire under their ear? And, I think Norby does have those tendencies on the days that he pitches, but when you're a starting pitcher and you're not starting, you can only do so much. You need that position player. You need that guy who is just going to light a fire under everybody. The problem is, we've got a lot of leaders, but what I'm about to describe, there's nothing wrong. You need a handful of guys like this. You've got the leader that's going to put his arm around a struggling young guy, tell him everything's going to be okay, work with him after practice. And you need those guys. You need the nice guys. You need the lead by example guys. But sometimes you need the guy who leads by being a jerk, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, and obviously you don't want to treat your teammates poorly, but from a standpoint
a lot
of
of
just
fire
pushing
to the
them,
rear end.
just
Yeah.
pushing them in a different way. Some guys need that. So yeah, I'm with you, and it's just something that this team seems to continue to search for. We got a lot of comments, so I'll tell you what, guys. Let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll read some of these comments. We'll table our NBA playoff rankings for segment 3. We'll continue baseball discussion next, as a lot of people disappointed, of course, as you would imagine. Maybe not as vocal as James, but up there. So we'll continue that after this.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arrgh!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your
We're live with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the Johnny Roger!
Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
All right, second segment here. A lot of people fired up. We'll continue on with our ECU baseball discussion. Pirates lose 10-3 to NC State. If you're wondering about I haven't even looked at the RPI implications of the game. Let me look at that real quick. ECU was like 36 going into yesterday, and now they are down to 40. So Wichita State coming to town. They're not great in the RPI, so big implications there. Let's get into some comments here. A lot of people fired up about James's rant segment 1. If you missed any of that, you can review it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and Facebook. It'll be archived. Kenny Curlins says, quote, "Let's just say it. This team's batting is not consistent. You blame the pitching, but you have to score runs." I mean, last night, none of it was good, but again, first time in a while, ECU has looked just overmatched at the plate with swing and miss. Yeah, Gel Josh wants ECU to go out and get a shortstop. I think Lashley's been good. It's just he still doesn't seem 100% to me, and I need to know if how much is that hamstring bothering him defensively. I think he's the least of a few concerns, but
he's got to be leading the team in errors though.
but I think that's always your shortstop.
That's true.
Now, could it be more consistent? Yes, it's better than last year. ECU has not had a great shortstop since Zach Agnos, and he wasn't even your primary shortstop that year. That's been a consistent problem. Just the shortstop position. So,
yeah, I mean, because you had who was it last year after Shaq left?
Boucher.
That's right, it was Boucher.
And then it was
Shaq, Dixon.
Those are all not shortstops.
Yeah, because Zach was the third baseman.
Yep.
I mean, like you said, he played some short. But
Turner Brown was a good shortstop.
Yeah.
You know, he was not I wouldn't say a great shortstop, but a good shortstop. And obviously was an excellent team guy. So, yeah, that could be an off-season topic. Cameron says that there's a lot of things wrong with this team, but one thing is clear, recruiting is a problem. Never before have I seen an in-state team come here and look so much bigger than us. State was bigger, faster, more athletic than us. Recruiting was the biggest problem. I think
I don't even know if you can chalk that up to them just being better than. I mean, State was definitely a better team than us, but
they definitely can hit better than ECU.
It comes down to you have, like I've said, you have to care about NC State. You have to care about North Carolina, and there's no reason ever NC State should be 7 runs better than ECU in baseball, especially at Clark LeClaire ever.
I think, the injuries have exacerbated some recruiting misses. To me, if you have Braxton Trammell, if you have Jack Vogeley, those two guys, and Alex Peltier, all three of those guys are taller, bigger, make your lineup look a little more imposing, especially Trammell and Vogeley. You take them out, you insert Sabater and whoever. Your lineup becomes a little smaller and less imposing. So injuries have been a problem. I thought on the mound, this team was good enough to lead ECU to the promised land. Then you've had major injuries there, so they're not able to cover up for it enough. So recruiting an issue overall. I don't think the only reason ECU, like James said, got their teeth kicked in last night. But State, they always have some gorillas in the lineup as far as just dudes who can drop bombs, and last night was no different. They got some big dudes. All right, David Jones wants to know how much does lack of NIL funds hurting recruiting baseball players to ECU? I mean, it's hurting them, but ECU still has the best NIL in the American Conference by far, and they spend the most resources. There's no reason ECU should not be at the top of the league outside of maybe injuries and underperformance.
The tough thing, though, I do think, and we kind of talked about this, we're almost in a weird spot where, like, we've got just enough that our guys, and we have enough crowd and a legit camera, unlike UTSA, where, like, our guys are kind of on the like, they get poached. Like, Bristol Carter gets poached.
You can actually see them on the stream.
Yeah, so that's my thing. Like, not that, they've ever had a Bristol Carter type guy at UTSA, but, like, when they do have a guy who's a little less than him, does he get poached as quickly? And then go be a star at Auburn. Like, I don't know. That's part of the problem is, like, the traditions here and the NIL is good and all that. So the SEC is the most likely to come knocking for your players. Also, if there's word that you're recruiting a guy, out of high school, there's that much more likely the SEC or the ACC is like, oh, ECU's recruiting him. Maybe we should look at this guy, as opposed to, oh, UTSA's recruiting him.
Jonathan Wagner in the chat says, Cliff made sure to say he's going to have conversations with some guys on Monday. It didn't work. Time to actually show you're willing to make some changes.
I don't know, Wags. You shaved your mustache in there and haven't been winning since then.
True.
So
maybe it's
he's had a conversation with yo ass.
The question is, what changes does he make, though? Because they did play Blade Carver last night. I mean, that was a change that I don't think anybody saw coming.
I don't know what.
Other than, like, just how they practice or go into games.
Yeah, I don't know who you could bench because this team clearly is not strong enough depth-wise. I mean,
you're missing like 10, 11 players with injuries. I just think you're out of options almost. I mean, I would like to see more Hakame. I feel like you have a guy who hit 310 in the American last year who just has not gotten like a fair chance.
Yeah,
I don't know. That whole situation has been weird to me.
Well, I mean, it comes down to, I don't know if he's necessarily saying he's going to make changes. He says he's going to have conversations with guys. So that could be changes, but it could be, talking about what we were talking about. Who's the guy who's going to light the fire under their rear end? Okay, he might be having the conversation with player X to challenge him to go be the guy who lights the fire under their end and gives them that pregame speech. We were talking about during the break. Like, yeah, coach gives some good pregame speeches, but sometimes before big games, once you get done warming up before it's that last speech right before you go out there, you still need, somebody to kind of step up and be it's not like you're calling people out and you're being a jerk, but you've kind of got that chip on your shoulder attitude about you. Like, we are not going to let these dudes come in here and take this. And, like, who's the guy with the chip on his shoulder? Maybe that's what Cliff's going to do. He's going to go out there and challenge, I don't know who, but somebody who's already looked up to on this team to go be more of a chip on a shoulder guy and less of a arm around your shoulder kind of guy.
But why does it have to be done in mid-April? Why couldn't that have been done after the Carolina game at home in second week of February?
You're right. It should have been.
Jonathan Wagner says the current answer to him is Irby, but the big picture answer goes back to the types of dudes you're recruiting. So his follow-up there. Mike Ward says, is it time to look at our arm care program where you routinely have multiple pitchers hurt on a yearly basis? I just think that's baseball, man. I mean,
people are going to get hurt. That's every sport, really.
You also have different, like Antolik has a hip. Moran has like a shoulder/back. Van Kempen is a forearm strain. I guess Weber's a forearm too. So I just think that's baseball, personally. Mike Ward says, plate approach last night was awful. So many missed center cut pitches. Logan says, quote, embarrassing loss, just outmatched in every way. Brian Wallace says, I kept faith all last year, even went to Clearwater. I'm running out of steam. Just like team didn't care a lot last night. Hard to support that. Cameron says NC State doesn't even have batting cages, so people saying we need better facilities to compete are crazy. Do they really not have batting cages?
I don't know how true that is.
I mean, I'd rather have money to buy players than buy batting cages, but I don't know.
I think they have a batting cage.
I'm sure they've got a batting cage somewhere. If not, I guess you just hit on the field. I do think this team, and this is not an excuse for last night, but this team has got to get Grady Linehan and Walker Barron back this weekend to have a shot versus Wichita State.
He did say Grady was most likely going to play, right?
I think they said they were crossing their fingers, hoping. Okay. He was in the dugout last night, was not wearing any sort of shoulder. Like, he didn't have it in his sling, at least. He may have been wearing a brace, but he was able to move his arms. And then Walker, I guess, is still sick.
Yeah, what could he possibly have?
I mean, him and Lashley catch the same bug where they miss, like, multiple weeks now.
Yeah, so, he caught Sunday, but supposedly when they got back Monday, he started feeling bad again. I don't know. It's weird. I'm not sure. I was like trying to talk to people and ask, and they were trying to give me like as much information as they knew. But no, I think no one, like the exception of Truthfully inside the team, has like the full story. But Val was like, I asked her, and she's like, yeah, he's like really sick. I mean, and I noticed during pregame warmups, only Carver and Kalinich were down there, so it wasn't like he was even really warming up. Did he catch bullpen?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think as good as Kalinich has been with the bat, except for last night, he's still. Teams run on him a lot.
That's the problem.
They need Walker back for defense. And then Grady brings electricity because he's an electric player, and this lineup is missing that right now. So they need those guys back for Wichita State. Nothing would surprise me this weekend. I mean, they could get swept. It wouldn't shock me. They could look like world beaters and sweep Wichita State, James. It's just like I just think we're going to continue to see at this point through 28 games we've seen inconsistency. I think that's going to continue, both good and bad. So, like, it feels like every time we're ready to write them off, they bounce back.
And
so, I don't know.
Like I said earlier, I was thinking that was what was going to happen versus NC State because same kind of thing happened versus Tulane. They lose that series. Cliff Godwin teams are known to respond when everyone's on their back. Oh, the season's over, this and that. They usually respond well. They didn't last night.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's do or die this weekend versus Wichita State, if I'm being completely honest with you. Do or die.
Yeah, you lose even one or definitely the series to a sub-150 RPI team is going to plummet your RPI. John Moody says, what looks worse, the play on the field or the actual field? Multiple. So my neighbors went, and a lot of them had questions about the turf because they didn't think it looked very good either. So I don't know.
I think turf just sucks.
Yeah.
Turf just sucks in general.
It just doesn't look great.
I understand the home plate dirt was getting into the turf, but why did we add more turf instead of just taking stuff away? Like, one of the things that has always been consistently one of the highest things that we take pride in is our grounds here. The football field is always in tip-top shape. The baseball field has always been done really well. Softball, when teams come here, always rave about how well it's kept. Like, and I understand, I'm trying to put more work on the grounds crew, but like Joey did such a good job in his time here. And he has done a great job passing the torch to Alex. Alex does a hell of a job. And is it that much more to maintain just the extra turf, the extra grass right behind home plate? Because they were maintaining that whole area as dirt.
I guess, could they not have just left that as turf and then left the foul lines and home plate as dirt? You know what I'm saying?
They were saying the dirt kept getting into the turf.
Which I guess is a factor, but I don't know, man. I'm just not. Again, ECU's not alone here. This is not just an ECU problem.
Yeah, turf everywhere sucks, and it's a football thing too.
Yeah, so I don't know. By the way, I did hear we got to get a break in. Good baseball discussion. Also, Kenny wants to know how many games are left. ECU's played 38 games. I think I misspoke earlier. That means there is 56 minus 38, 18 games left, I believe.
Quick math.
Good job, Igo.
I did hear football spring game. There will only be one goalpost up.
What?
But there is a reason for this. They are resodding the whole field. They've got to do some pretty in-depth work. So if they put in a goalpost now, they would have to essentially take them back out. So they're actually putting in 2 brand new goalposts. So Goalpost Watch 2026. I did confirm they are putting in 2 brand new goalposts. That probably will not officially happen until the summer, though. So
because they're not going to resod it before graduation.
Exactly.
Then you put all those fold-out chairs over there on new sod. That's just asking for something to get ripped up.
Yes, yep. And there's some big events, or a big event I think scheduled to happen at some point too, and Daddy Fick on that. They want to do that and then resod the field, and then they will have it ready to go for football season. So there's your goalpost watch.
Investigative journalism.
Yeah. I don't think they were. The more I tweeted about it, the more it got people a little irritated. So I'm going to stop for now. But I did figure out the reason why that they have not put the goalposts up.
At least it's a real reason.
Yeah. All right, we got to get a break in. We'll come back. We'll talk Hornets. We'll talk NBA playoffs after this.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
In Eastern North Carolina, people appreciate things that are straightforward, honest, and dependable. For decades, our team has focused on cutting through insurance complexity for the communities we serve. And now, we're bringing that same mindset to our name. We're Flatlands Insurance Group, a simpler name that reflects the same local team, the same values, and the same commitment to the great communities we feel blessed to be a part of. Flatlands Insurance Group, your whole world is covered.
At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Oh, hey, welcome back. You got here just in time. This is Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors. This will be our final segment with the Giglio. James, he's got to get to the Raleigh area for an appointment, so we're going to talk some NBA. Birthday checkup. Happy early birthday. Late birthday.
April 6th.
So you're already 21? How do we miss that?
I don't know. It was championship night.
Oh. Well, hey, I didn't realize William turned 21 the other day, too. And I was like, oh, congrats, William.
April 6th. I don't know how many days ago that was. That's last Monday.
9 days.
Yeah.
9 days, yeah.
We need to take you and William out for some, buy you guys some beers now that you can drink.
I know. It's been pretty cool.
Hornets, Heat. We could talk about James' celebration, but I know you got to get out here soon. So last night we had the first playing game. It was pretty electric. Hornets survive over the Miami Heat, 127-126. LaMelo Ball, I mean, what a true experience that was, dude.
The LaMelo experience.
I mean, he tried to blow the game about 5 times. He hurt Bam Adebayo. What looked to be pretty intentional. I guess they're going to review that. But, yeah, last night, 12 of 31 from the floor, 2 of 16 from three-point range. Did have 10 assists, so double-double, and he made the final shot when it counted to give the Hornets the 1-point win. So it was honestly a pretty phenomenal game. You had some big threes late. Kobe White hit a huge three. Honestly, fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was a great game, and that's, I think, exactly what Adam Silver envisioned when he had and came up with the play-in game. Games like that. Against two teams of Hornets who are up and coming, and the Heat who have some veterans and who don't have Jimmy Butler anymore, but they've been there before at 2 finals in the last 6 years now. So I think it was a cool matchup, and the Hornets, probably the best Hornets win in the last decade?
Gotta be. I mean, I can't remember one bigger.
I can't either.
City.
What I really want to know, though, is I want to know what happened from 48 seconds left in overtime to 26 seconds left in overtime. Does anybody know what happened?
Tyler, here, are you talking about when the Heat took the lead?
No, I'm talking about when the stream cut out and there were technical difficulties and nobody could see the damn game because they're putting it on a freaking streaming service. You know what? I kind of wish it would have cut out the rest of the game. So it would have been a big, middle finger to the streaming service. That's crap. What an idiot. What idiot signed it? Let's put the playoff games on Prime. Adam Silver, go kick rocks. You dorky-looking moron.
I'm surprised they didn't honestly halt the game. Because
I know
it's the only way people are viewing it. So,
yeah,
you're in overtime. I'm surprised they just kept it going.
And with how media and TV now run sports, we do all this crap that's made for TV, stupid Super Bowl halftime shows that are an hour long, and all this other crap, and you don't halt the game. But on January 15th, 1967, you made them re-kick the second half opening kickoff off because one of the two networks that was broadcasting the game wasn't back to the first Super Bowl. So if we're doing it in 1967 for the Super Bowl, why are we not doing it now when the TV runs the darn world?
That is a good point because that's the only broadcast. There's no local broadcast for the playoffs this year.
So everybody had the same issue unless you queued up your local radio stream. All right, so the Hornets now will play the loser of Magic 76ers. That game is tonight, and they'll have to go on the road and win against the loser to get the 8 seed, which would allow them to play the Pistons, which gets us to our next point, which, by the way, the Blazers. The Blazers beat the Suns last night, so the Blazers are the 7. They play the Spurs. And then the Suns now will play the loser of Warriors-Clippers to try to get the 8 seed, which I read that the Warriors are keeping their guys on minute restrictions in a playoff game. I mean, what are we doing, man? Either way, that game tonight as well. I did ask y'all to rank all the first-round NBA playoffs games. Then I was doing this. I was like, this is kind of hard. So let's start at the top maybe and work our way down.
8 to 1 or 1 to 8?
Let's start at 1 because once I get to like 5, 6,
all
7,
the
8,
same.
it's all the
There's
same.
definitely one where I'm like, that's the best, and there's definitely one where I'm like, that's the worst. But in between, it's like kind of interchangeable.
So, is the worst Thunder?
No, my worst is Spurs Trailblazers.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
I think whoever the Thunder play, I guess maybe if they play the Clippers, it could be somewhat interesting, but I think they'll just mop the floor with the Suns or.
I forgot the Suns were a possibility. I was mainly taking into account they're playing the Clippers.
Yeah.
Because I think the Clippers could give them,
at least.
I don't want to say a series, but I think they could. I could see a world where they push it to six games.
I did have. I'll just start. I'll kind of share my list and get y'all's take too, where y'all had these games. I have Knicks Hawks 7 and Cavs Raptors 6. Like neither of those series intrigue me.
I had the Knicks series a bit higher. I had them at 4, Knicks Hawks, only because I think I took into account playoff atmosphere. I really like watching playoff games in Madison Square Garden when the Knicks, because that's like what they care about. That's like their big thing.
Can the Hawks win a game in that series though?
I can't. The Hawks might be a little too young. I know they beat them a couple years ago, but that was with Trae Young, and they had the whole rivalry, whatever. But that's why I had a little higher. That's the same reason why I had Toronto. I had Toronto at 5 because playoff basketball in Toronto I saw it with baseball. It's awesome.
So I've got Celtics against the 76ers or Magic next. I mean, I feel like if the 76ers actually want to play and are healthy and win tonight, that could be an intriguing series, Philip. I mean, at least.
Yeah, it could be.
They have talent to win a game or two.
Yeah, they do.
If it's the Magic, I don't care.
Yeah, it's the Magic. Yeah.
I don't know.
Who is your number 1?
My number 1, no surprise, Nuggets Timberwolves. The Nuggets are my favorite team, and you have history there. I mean, the Nuggets beat them in 23 on the way to the championship. 24, Timberwolves 1-7. You had Anthony Edwards calling out Jamal Murray, so I thought this is a Jamal Murray revenge series. He's had an awesome season. You know, Jokic versus Gobert. The Wolves are not a great matchup for the Nuggets. They know they can beat the Nuggets, but I think Denver, unlike 2024, is going to come out ready to go this time. But I think it's going to be an awesome series.
That was also my number 1 history. Both teams are pretty much fully healthy, and I think these are 2 teams that could give the Thunder a run for their money.
Yeah.
It is definitely number 1. I was in Colorado for about 2 weeks in 2024, and it was while this series was going on, man. And even though the Avs are huge there, it's like the sports talk radio was just locked in on this Nuggets T-Wolf series. And like you said, the whole call out thing, and we had family in town for other unfortunate events, but every night we were gathering at somebody's house to watch, or every night that they were on to watch these. And I'm excited for Game 1 Saturday, man. I don't know where I'm going to be watching it. Hopefully from the Ball Arena if I can work it out. But if not, at least one of my uncle's houses, and I'm sure it'll be electric.
I've got Lakers Rockets ranked 2nd on mine, and just out of necessity almost. I know you're a Lakers guy, but I think this will be a good series. I don't think either team is great.
I don't think either team has a shot at winning the championship. I think it will be cool seeing LeBron or KD in round 2, and it's LeBron and Kevin Durant going against each other. So I think that automatically bumps up to number 2. And who knows, maybe Luka and Austin Reeves come back, and the Lakers ride off into the sunset.
Off into the sunset, more like off into the cloud of thunder that they're going to get.
There you go.
Yeah, slaughtered in.
I'm hoping the Clippers slow them down.
Who even is favored in this series? Do we know?
The Rockets are heavy favorites.
Okay.
But I think it's because if Luka and Reeves come back, they'll win, because the Lakers beat the Rockets 4 times in the regular season.
So I have Pistons and Hornets, if it happens, number 3. Now, if it's Magic or 76ers, it's less compelling to me. But the Hornets are fun to watch, man. If it happens, I'm in for that.
I
series.
also had them at number 3. Pistons are a super intriguing, super young team, very good defensively, and the Hornets are right there with them. They kind of remind me of the Pistons last year when the Pistons were the 6th seed and gave the Knicks a series. I think the Hornets could definitely give this young Detroit team. I'm not saying they're going to win, and I'm also assuming they're going to get there. But I'm taking into account the Hornets get there. It's going to be a really fun series for 2 franchises that have been in the basement for pretty much the last decade.
Well, Isaiah brought up a good point pre-show. It's even if, let's just hypothetically say they get swept, they're probably at least going to the Hornets would at least start a fight, because these are 2 teams that don't mind getting in each other's faces.
Oh, these 2 teams also had that fight.
That's right.
Yeah, they did. They had that big brawl, Stewart and Bridge. Yeah.
The NBA honestly needs this.
Number one.
Because otherwise, the first round is not the most compelling.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Hey, Isaiah brought the point that Bridges is actually from Detroit as well.
There you go. So that I hope it happens. Again, Hornets will have to win the next game to get there, but I think they can do it. So that's what I'm hoping for. Any other thoughts on the first round before we get you out of here?
I mean, my number 4 and 5 already went through it. Celtics, yeah. I mean,
any real upset potential. I mean, like the Wolves are 6. Obviously, they could win, but that's everyone knows how.
I think the Wolves and Lakers could win. Other upset potential. I don't even know if I would call the biggest upset. It's not even going to happen. As I think the Clippers could give the Thunder a 6-game series.
Yeah,
that's really it.
Makes sense. All right, NBA playoffs. It'll officially start this weekend. The play-ins will continue the next few days. James, we'll get you out of here, my friend.
Right.
Appreciate you. And good rant today, man. Good stuff.
All right. I appreciate it. Am I getting off now or are we going to break?
We're going to break.
Okay.
We're going to break.
I'll get off on the break.
All right, we'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap the show after this.
Get ready to bring on the savings at Greenville Toyota with major deals on brand new Toyotas like a Camry, $229 a month, or RAV4, $279 a month. Now's your turn to save at Greenville Toyota.
In Eastern North Carolina, hard work matters, and it always has. At Flatlands Insurance Group, we've been showing up for our neighbors since 1963, helping families and business owners navigate change, weather tough seasons, and keep moving forward. Decades later, our purpose hasn't changed: to help protect what you've poured your time and energy to, from your home to your health to whatever comes next. Flatlands Insurance Group, your whole world covered.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Your future is full of possibilities, and Pitt Community College can help you explore every option. You can earn a degree, learn a trade, transfer to a university, or launch a new career. We offer the support you need to succeed with flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and programs designed for the real world. Your path, your future, your college. Pitt Community College. Register now.
Bring on the savings with new Toyotas from $159 a month at Greenville Toyota. Get huge discounts like Corolla's $159 a month or Tacoma's $249 a month. Save today at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Visit Larry's Steakhouse for a tender, hand-cut certified Angus ribeye. Other entrees include perfectly seasoned pork chops, chicken, or seafood favorites like shrimp, tuna, and salmon. Complement your meal with Larry's fresh 20-plus item salad bar, or enjoy it as an all-you-can-eat entree. Daily rotating favorites include meatloaf, chicken pastry, hamburger steak, spaghetti, pork chops, and more, all complemented with your favorite country sides. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, or our Sunday brunch, remember to support and eat local. Larry's Steakhouse.
Remember, get the podcast of the show on the IBX Media app or where you get your podcasts.
Got it. You don't have to tell me twice. I remember it exactly.
Stephen Igo and Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Final segment here. Hoist the Colors. We've talked a lot of ECU baseball today. If you missed any of it, check it out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. James Giglio, who had to exit, had an epic rant earlier on ECU baseball. I feel like it's always good to get the student perspective, too, especially when playing an in-state team. He's got family ties to NC State. I think he was hurt by the performance last night, just like a lot of Pirate fans. So I get it, and I appreciate the honesty. All right, a news nugget. just dropped. ECU football in the 2027 schedule is moving the Georgia State game in Greenville, North Carolina, up 2 weeks. So this was originally scheduled for September 25th, 2027. This is being moved up to September 11th, 2027. How does this change things? Why is this happening? People are asking frantically. Not really, but just to give you some idea, you look at the 2027 schedule right now. ECU is scheduled to open with Western Carolina on September the 4th. Open date, it was. Now Georgia State will slot in there. ECU then goes to Northwestern on September 18th. So that leaves September 25th now open for a fourth non-conference game. I've heard talks of Coastal Carolina could be in that mix. Coastal in 2027, at least according to futurefootballschedules.com, has 9/11 and 9/25 open on that year. But I've heard talk of that series could be extended. And so this is probably just some movement around here, Phillip, to get another regional team on the docket, if I had to guess. Because you already got your bye game in Northwestern. You're not going to add another bye game. This would presumably be another home-and-home setup.
Yeah, I think what this is, teams usually have that second week kind of locked in. There's a lot of teams playing FCS games that week also, which are scheduled out well in advance. So I'm guessing both teams were probably not having a lot of luck. Like, well, if we both have this date open, let's go ahead and move our game up. You're standing a much better chance of having some luck on the 25th. Usually that fourth game gets scheduled out the least. It's in the least amount of time, right? So that's probably what it was. We're probably getting talks to somebody. They're probably in talks with somebody that have both those dates open, but one or both didn't have the 11th open.
By the way, we will talk with John Gilbert. He'll be live in studio on Monday, 12 noon. So we'll get the latest on football scheduling. And he said he's down for a Q&A last I talked to him. So any questions you guys got, drop them. And I'll start a thread on HTC, and we'll get to a lot of those during the show on Monday. So looking forward to that. Cameron in the chat says, big news. Apparently Live Golf is shutting down. Harold Varner now without a job. So if that's true, I saw a headline on that. I have not been able to do a lot of research since we've been on the air, but I did see they were holding an emergency meeting today. So that could be something to monitor as well. I'd be curious to see what those, how those contracts, what that means for all those contracts these guys sign.
I wonder if they just pay them off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Saudi government.
Right.
They've got a boatload of money coming in through oil. And problem is they invested in too much at one time. You did that, and then they went out there and bought the four soccer teams in the four most successful soccer teams in Saudi Arabia, and they're pumping a bunch of money into that. That's why you've had like big name dudes going to Saudi Arabia like Ronaldo, and they're paying those dudes outrageous amounts of money. So, I mean, obviously you can only invest in so much. I know they got oil money, but still.
So stay tuned for that. We'll try to see the ramifications of that in the coming hours, I would assume. Quick Major League Baseball check-in. There are, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 teams with an MLB worst 6-11 record. Can you name them, Phillip Pilkington?
Giants, Rockies, White Sox, Red Sox.
There you go. He knew it. The Red Sox continued to sputter, minus 13 run differential. The Mariners not much better. They're 8-10. The Astros finally got a win last night over the Rockies to break a 7-game losing streak. They're 7-11. The Minnesota Twins are tied for they have the AL best record, 11-7. The Braves are 11-7. They're playing good baseball. They have a plus 41 run differential, which is best in Major League Baseball. And the Dodgers are 13-4 with a plus 40 run differential. So we were talking about this during the break with the standings. They're outside of the Dodgers, and the Padres are 11-6. You got the Twins and Braves with 11 wins. There's not really much like difference in the standings. I mean, everybody's like either like 9-8, 10-7, 7-10. It's just kind of jumbled up, which is, I guess, peak Major League Baseball 2 weeks in.
Hey, when your team's not playing well, it's good to see, because I think Boston's like 3 games out of the wild card, despite being worse than half the teams in college baseball.
Or you mean Major League Baseball?
No, they're probably worse than half the teams in college baseball.
All right. So yes, they are 3.5 games out of first place in the American League East. It's been a pretty good run for Connor Norby. I don't know how he did last night, but he did homer the other day. Also, Alec Burleson continues to be solid. Gavin Williams off to a solid start as well. We'll do a more in-depth look into ECU players in MLB probably tomorrow. Kason Romali is going to be on the show. We may have a segment devoted to just looking at ECU players in MLB, but it just seems to be another solid year. Gavin, to this point on the season, is started 4 games, 22.2 innings pitched, just 10 hits allowed in 22 innings. The issue has been 16 walks versus 29 strikeouts. Against St. Louis the other day, Burleson did get a hit off of him. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 4 Ks. And he's had 2 walks, 5 walks, 3 walks, 6 walks in his first 4 starts. So we talked about that in the preseason. It's like, can he eliminate that? So that's been the biggest thing with Gavin. But otherwise, dominant numbers. So there's your MLB check-in. A lot happening there. Soon enough, Phillip, we'll get NHL playoffs schedule. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to go to this Game 2 of the Hurricanes with my brother, but I need a schedule. Can we make this happen?
I don't think it's going to happen until Friday morning when the West wraps up all their stuff tomorrow night.
I mean, come on, man.
I don't know. I mean, most of the teams are done. That's the crazy thing. Like, some teams still have to play tonight and tomorrow, and some teams are done.
Are the Canes still looking at Ottawa?
The Canes will play Ottawa. Okay. It's official, yeah.
There you go. So that'll be the first round opponent for the Carolina Hurricanes. And we'll get that talk and that discussion scheduled to you when the NHL drops it as the regular season concludes. That'll do it for today's show. Appreciate James Giglio once again hanging out. His epic rant on ECU baseball's poor performance last night. They'll try to bounce back this weekend against Wichita State. We'll have Kason Romali on the show tomorrow. He may have a rant ready as well from Carolina Curveball. We'll talk to him about college baseball and a whole lot more on Thursday. We'll see you then. Thanks for listening to HTC.